Of the first ever Web3 PH Summit happening here at Draper Startup House. I hope all of you are ready to learn from the experts who help you step into the new world of Metaverse and find new opportunities. This evening's next event is entitled Enter the Metaverse. Are we ready for virtual reality? This session will begin with a presentation from our keynote speaker, followed by a panel discussion led by a moderator. Now, without further ado, our keynote speaker is the head of Metaverse at PDAX. PDAX is a cryptocurrency exchange available both as a web-based and mobile app. PDAX wants every Filipino to have a fair shot at achieving their dreams, no matter where they are in the world and regardless of their social status or financial background. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Lau. A round of applause, please.
Low, low, low. Okay. Hi, everyone. Afternoon na ba? Good afternoon. Welcome to Web3 Summit. Thank you, everyone, pala, for dropping by at in this very rainy weather. And also, thank you for taking the time. I know, sobrang daming busy sa inyo. No? Before I start, this is very, very simple presentation. Just wanted to give more color about Metaverse. I'm just super curious, and just wanted to ask this question: which one of you already have or has owned or currently own any type of crypto or NFT, be it Axie? Just please raise your hand right now. Okay, so I have half of my work cut out for me already. How many of you can actually say that you understand the Metaverse? Pretty okay, maybe 50, 60, 70%. Please raise your hand. All right, I see 1, 2, 3, a little bit less. Obviously, the breather doubt peeps are experts right here. Shout out pala to breather doubt over there. And also, my colleagues here from PDAX as well. So, my goal in this very short presentation and talk is just to, when I ask again that same question, if you really understand or if it helped you understand the Metaverse, more people would actually raise their hands. No? So, yun lang. Very simple. And then, kwentuhan na tayo after with all of our other special guests. So, maybe if someone could start the webinar. Sige. To the right lang, no? Yan, okay. Very simple stuff. Metaverse, opportunities for the brave and bold. So what is it? We'll start with, a very big, very high-level tour. What is the Metaverse, and then what is the future, and what does it mean for all of us? All right, so I'm going to start now. So actually in PDAX, I'm heading quite a large project, and we're looking for, very ambitious and very skilled people who want to dive into Metaverse. And so as you might imagine, I interview a lot of people as well for job opportunities. This one very interesting person that I interviewed, actually, there's this kid who is earning about $8,000 a month. Yung job na interview ko for him is actually like a community manager for NFT projects. So I'm sure alam nyo na rin yan. But the interesting thing about this is this person, he's a male, he's earning $8,000 a month, and he's in the DeFi space, all right? And the punchline here is that he's only just 18 years old, so not even entering into college, and he's earning so much already. And what it really means is, at least for me, medyo tinanga ako. Kasi like, for me, when I just graduated from Ateneo, my first parang job out of college, I was earning 18,000 pesos. And then there's this kid who's earning $8,000, not even entering college, diba? So, it's so wild, but then it's also somewhat related to what's happening right now in Web3. And ang point ko lang is, it's such an exciting space, and every time, there's a new technology, like the metaverse and Web3, it opens the opportunity set for all of the ambitious people, no? And it gives you more chances to succeed and also create new jobs. So, very basic definition. We can debate about, a more formal definition later. What is the metaverse? So, digital environment lang siya. It connects you with other users. It has its own economy, and most importantly, its ownership is decentralized. So, you can actually own things, and what decentralized means is, siyempre, no one can take it away from you. Diba? If you actually own it, then it's actually yours. No? So, trying to keep it simple lang. This was an event we did, kind of like METAVERSE. We partnered with DLSU. Sinong nag-aral sa DLSU? Yon. Okay, ang dami animo, but actually I'm blue eh. I'm Ateneo, sorry. Okay, ang dami animo, but actually I'm blue eh. I'm Ateneo, sorry. My dream is to bring this to Ateneo. But Animo Lasal. So this is in partnership with DLSU. We created in Decentraland. We actually have si Kyle here, who's a very good builder in Decentraland. We did a replica of the Henry C building, and of course, PDAX, yung kulay green na building at the far left. And the Archer building as well. Anong point nito is just to demonstrate to everyone that the metaverse is here in somewhat limited form. And also, it was a way to celebrate kasi first time mag-graduate yung college of, course for computer gaming, no, for gaming developers, first ever. But then, what is really the metaverse? Ako, for me, it's very debatable, right? So, sobrang daming definitions. But then, that's also something good as well. Kasi it tells us that we're very early. Once the lines are very well drawn, medyo too late na tayo. And I'm that kind of person where I'd like to go where chaos is, diba? So anyway, my point of view is, Roblox is not a metaverse, no matter how nice it is, no matter if you can buy goods with your real money using Robux. And why is that? Because you can't actually say that you actually own the asset, no? On the other hand, BASE and Decentraland is actually a real metaverse because there is the ownership layer, ownership component into it, facilitated by blockchain. Axie Infinity, it's also a metaverse. Sad to say, marami rin nalugi, including me, but then it's really a metaverse, at least in my dictionary, because you can actually get to own your NFTs, the Axies themselves, and also BASE's other side. So what are NFTs? Very simple lang. And anong connect niya with metaverse? NFTs very simply is any digital object that is unique and limited. Ganun lang kadali, no? So it could be a video, it could be a picture, it could be any digital thing on your computer, pero it's stamped on the blockchain. So you can actually say that you own it. And the metaverse is really composed of NFTs. Ngayon, if I look back to my kumbaga golden years, I actually had my first NFT when I owned these very beautiful pair of rubber shoes. It's the Jordan 12s. Back when I was in school, and my dad I was the first one actually to have this shoe, and I was parang flexing it na all around the school with my classmates. And for one day, I was the most popular kid in school. Pero why did I call it NFT? Well, in a sense, it's also an NFT, right? Because it's very unique. It's used for flexing. It's cultural. It has cultural value. Now, there's only one missing component, which is you just make it into a digital form, right? And then you have that, the NFT na, because you actually own that digital thing. Ngayon, may weakness din yung digital because you can't actually wear a digital shoe, right? But then, it's kind of wild because this shoe, digital shoe to the right, is actually valued even more than the one to the left. Sino here collects basketball cards, Magic the Gathering, Pikachu, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon cards? You would understand, right? So I see some people raising their hands. NFTs is also some sort of a collectible, but imagine those things, make it into digital form, you've got NFTs. Who used to watch this show? Alatang matanda na ako. Parang blank stares, no? We used to watch this show. Please don't be ashamed and raise your hand. Okay, I see a couple of people. Very interesting stuff, right? So, This was about in the 1960s, pero this was about the world in 2062. 100 years from now. Tapos yung idea niya is, whatever was happening in this series, it was kind of a prediction what would happen 100 years from now. Pero ang very interesting thing here is almost all of their predictions came true. And it came true in half the time. So right now we're in the 2020s. It's about 40, 50 years after. And all of the things in Jetsons already appeared to be true. So for example, a robot cleaner, jetpacks, smart TV, flat screen, holograms in a smartwatch, right? So, excuse me. So, medyo wild, diba? What does it tell us? Humans actually we have this sort of weakness for exponentiality, diba? So, we always think in linear terms. So, ang hirap i-imagine something that is accelerating based on the growth rate of its previous period, diba? So, and what my point is that, the future is nearer than you think. Actually, the future is already here. The metaverse is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. So, and I'm willing to bet that the future is already here right now in this room because by the fact that everyone here is watching this small talk of mine, we're already all early adopters of the metaverse. Example, Starbucks is doing NFTs as a loyalty program. There's this kid who's called Sevi Agregado, selling NFTs for orders of magnitude more than he would sell physical painting. Even brands like Marriott is doing NFTs. No? So medyo wild siya, di ba? Here's another thought experiment. 20 years ago, there's no such thing as a social media manager. There's no such thing as a Grab driver. There's no such thing as a blockchain analyst, a podcaster, data scientist. Isn't that wild, di ba? But then we always take this for granted. Diba? So now you could actually make money and a decent living being an influencer, being a streamer. But then, way back when I was, in my early days, there's no such thing as that. And if you came to me, if you're a time traveler, you came to me back then and you told me that, these things would exist, I would tell you, get the hell out of the room, right? And similarly, 2 years ago, ganun din. There's no NFT flipper, Web3 marketer, play to earn scholar, full-time grinder. And the point is, it just excites me as well kasi maybe what could the future hold, right? So maybe 2 years from now, there will be these weird jobs that you don't even know would exist. Diba? Metaverse concerts. I just tried my best to be as ridiculous as possible. Diba? So digital events planner at pet trainer in the metaverse. Diba? So most probably it might not happen, but then it might also. The point is that, if you're an adventurer, there are some things that are fascinating, but also some things that will always remain the same. So focus on the fundamentals and you'll be okay. So for me, in my opinion, you have to learn how to learn. You have to learn how to think. Because if you know how to learn, you can always learn anything, right? So learn how to make friends, learning how to sell, learning how to speak. So those things, kahit anong gawin mo, you will need to sell something at some point in your life. And also, learning how to socialize with other people and make friends. So, ganun lang. Some practical tips because once you upskill yourself, no one can take that away from you. And you can be well-equipped to take advantage of the metaverse. Last slide. Sino dito may alam what these things are? Please raise your hand. 1, 2. Don't be shy. Okay, good. Sorry? Beeper, yes. Yes, madam. That's a beeper. You just revealed your age. No. Sorry, you're young. Okay. So am I. But beeper, this was the very first cell phone. But then it's medyo mind-blowing that we actually reached this point, diba? Na I actually reached that point when people were using beepers. But then now look how far we've become, diba? We've gone to this point. And then if anyone has remembered the very first iPhone, it didn't really work so well, diba? Because calls kept dropping, you didn't know how to use it properly, laging di gumagana yung apps properly. But then it was something fascinating because combination siya ng many different things. So it's a smart computer, it's a GPS, it's a calculator, it's an accelerometer, it's a touchscreen TV, all in one little device. And my point is that NFTs, the metaverse, is kind of like that very first iPhone. Things don't really work so well, diba? So case in point, Axie. But then, you know, rest assured, all of the inventors, the entrepreneurs, the startup founders are working their very best to solve these problems. And then now we have the iPhone 10. Diba? Napakalayo. Very short spiel. We're gonna do some sort of NFT marketplace in PDAX. I'm just gonna go very quickly because I don't have time. If you guys are interested in NFTs to collect or to become a creator, to create your collection, please approach me. This is PDAX. We're a local cryptocurrency exchange, and that's me on the left. That's my colleague to the right, Miss Meg Amat. Thank you everyone for this very short talk. I hope you had a great time and you learned a lot. No, thank you.
Thank you so much for that very insightful presentation, Patrick. Again, a round of applause for our keynote speaker, please. Moving on to the next part of our program, we will be joined by 5 notable people in their respective fields. First, we welcome back on deck Patrick Lau, the head of Metaverse at PDAX. Next on our list is Nico Veray, the COO and co-founder of Arc of Dreams. AOD is a unique and immersive blockchain-based shared human experience NFT game connecting your real world to the metaverse. A round of applause, please. Next, we have Jake San Diego, ex-general manager of Ragnarok publisher, Level Up Games. Metaverse Go is your premier getaway into the metaverse. Get easy access to play and earn games, guilds, NFTs, and decentralized applications. And last but not least is Kael Bernardo, metaverse builder at Decentraland. Kumu is the #1 Filipino-made live streaming platform that brings together communities all over the world.
Hi, so it's me again. This time as a moderator, no. So welcome everyone as our esteemed guests. I just wanted to start this conversation lang. And please, everyone, also raise your hand if you have questions pala, no? We want to keep this as dynamic as possible, free-flowing conversation, Q&A style, no? So, having said that, let's begin, no? Medyo konting foundation thing lang. Let's lay down the foundations of the house. I wanted to pick everyone's brain on their own conception or idea of what metaverse is. So, I know I said some things there. Don't take that as set in stone. We're in the very early days. What are your thoughts? Maybe we can start with Nico. What is the metaverse for you?
Hello? Hello, hello? Okay. So for me, and I think this is what also our team believes, metaverse is it's going to be what do you call this? It's going to shape and form how we interact our day-to-day activities, how we interact with brands, what we do on a daily basis. It's going to, in a way, revolutionize everything that we do in our regular lives.
Very nice definition. How about you, Jake?
Yeah, for me, metaverse or moving into Web3 is the natural progression, right? Where right now you're able to interact with each other over the internet, but the metaverse provides for us actual ownership, owning a piece of the internet, which was not available to us before. And it's something that provides for trustless and transparency, because whatever transaction you're gonna get into you're sure it's there, you'll see it, and it's validated.
Okay, so ownership component is very important. I love it. So, Sir Kael, how about you?
For me, metaverse is the future internet. You know, kung ngayon mag-search tayo sa Google, we'll see images, we'll see text, videos. This time around, in the metaverse, we're gonna see 3D equivalent of everything, of the physical environment, of the internet itself. Kasi ngayon, we need accounts to like different accounts for Facebook, Twitter. Now, for the when the time comes na like 5 years from now, perhaps we need only one MetaMask account. And then that's yun lang yung kailangan mo para to sign up, to make, yeah.
Okay, so this is more your answer is more focused towards, I guess, a virtual world and also some sort of identity, interoperability, having just one account to represent yourself in the metaverse, right? This is a good segue as well. No, I wanted to pick your brain, your gentleman's brains. No, so the metaverse has many aspects, right? So it could be a virtual world, it could be a game, it could have some sort of ownership component to it. It could be, some sort of connected to your identity. So maybe, Jake, I just wanted to ask you, do you see just one big metaverse existing in the near future, or will there be parang, 'di ba, multiverse of madness style, maraming metaverses, maraming identities, and number two, would it be facilitated by games or something else?
Yeah, so ang hirap nun yung tanong. But to me, my personal opinion about that is that the metaverse can exist. I would look at, the different universe of Spider-Man, for example, right? And the concept of infinity. If you have Netflix, look at the latest documentary about infinity, and it shows that the metaverse is like a kaleidoscope. No, you can look at it as in one parang telescope, but there is going to be a lot of different shapes, different colors. So in a sense, what I'm trying to say is, the metaverse can be a very individual thing for each. It can represent our ourselves individually, but at the same time, there is some sort of interoperability. Parang having it on the metaverse provides for, like, in a way, open API that would enable my metaverse to interact with your metaverse. And we are sure that that bridge, that link, can never be broken, right? So to me, that's my personal view of the metaverse. And it's kind of related to what he said earlier, where everything is going to be 3D. And when you go there, it's like actually being in a real representation of the physical world.
Very good. Nico, how about yourself? Any thoughts on, anything to add? Metaverse as multiple metaverses, interoperability with bridges, identity.
That's a heavy question. Honestly, one thing that I want to add to what you said earlier, it's really more of contributing to how people are really impacted on when they immerse themselves in the metaverse, in the concept of metaverse, through NFT artworks or through games, right? It's also allowing or bridging that opportunity to provide a sustainable livelihood for a community that heavily relies on a certain platform or on a certain metaverse project, right? So it's more of bridging what do you call this? It's more of opening sustainable opportunities for a lot of people, especially those who are looking for, who are deprived of certain opportunities right now, that the metaverse will be open to them and accessible to them, so that they can not just uplift or change their current situation or current scenario, but at the same time really uplift their current status and for for themselves or for their families.
Maybe let's double click on that. So so far you're introducing another kumbaga aspect or element in metaverse, which is the ability to actually earn real money, right? So medyo napapansin ko we're heading towards, is this play to earn? What are we talking about, Nico, here?
Well, for possible play to earn, yes, it's one of the concepts that was earlier introduced, especially during the height of pandemic. We all have heard of Axie Infinity. A lot of people benefited from it, right? And a lot of people um, able to survive, thrive during the pandemic and open a series of opportunities for them, right? But at the same time, we also saw that there's a lot of brands, a lot of companies that are already accepting like uh, games or different kinds of ways that people can earn to provide a certain livelihood for them that provides a equal playing field for everyone, not just in a specific area or in a specific demographic. So whether you're rich, you're poor, or you're just a middle class person that you're looking to, that you've been fighting your whole life, the whole scenario of play to earn or metaverse, it's going to pave a way for them to to somehow be able to change their current living situation.
Medyo interesting yun for me also because this is why I went into Axie myself kasi it's very seductive, the idea of having, you know, being able to create real value out of something kind of like imaginary, right? So yun yung what attracted me to Axie in the first place, because you know, the metaverse is actually pang kumbaga make believe lang, 'di ba? It's just all by design, by the human brain, by the internet. But then the idea of it having its own economy where people can actually earn a living, sobrang seductive. And I think, you know, sobrang ganda ng point mo there. Let's go more into that in a little bit. Kyle, also, just wanted to ask, and let's maybe change things up a little. Your background is you're a metaverse builder. I think you build on these. Maybe talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I graduated in Letran. I took up I major in digital arts. So uh, it was 2020 when I saw Decentraland. I really dug in the rabbit hole of metaverse and read countless of articles about it. And then yes, yun yung nagpapasok sa akin doon na, kung 3D artist ka, or whatever field you may be, you can take part on the metaverse. So sabi ko, parang kung totoo to, it's a good time to be an artist. Kung ito'y totoo.
Exactly.
Like same as NFTs.
Yes.
Uh, parang sa Decentraland nga ang mga popular is yung mga artists, yung mga DJs, yung musicians.
But before, Kyle, before mo na-discover si Decentraland, ano yung balak mo to be? Like, I'm sure you were planning to be something else. Like, architect, designer, what was it?
I'm in metal fabrication as I have a small shop in Quezon City. We build mufflers, exhausts. So yeah, nung nakita ko si Decentraland, sabi ko, kailangan may gawin ako. Kasi ayokong ma-late.
Maiwan.
Ayokong
Yeah.
maiwan. Kasi in this space, yung first mover, siya yung magbe-benefit. It's either high risk, no reward, or high risk pero all the reward
Yes.
you can reap.
And you managed to build, you know, metaverse builds in Decentraland for clients, and clients paid you.
Some of them, yes. There are a lot of generous people around inside the Central Land, especially earlier in the space. Like ang problema kasi walang gustong mag-aral. walang gustong mag-aral ng panibago. lahat tayo takot kapag may bago tayong narinig. What's the scam?
Which is
Scam.
also an advantage, di ba?
Yes.
Kung ano ka, if you're hardworking, willing to learn, di ba? Pwede kang mauna.
So that time may konti akong oras. And then ang 3D applications na kaya ko talaga is Maya, 3D Max. And then I learned the Central. Ang ginagamit nila dun Blender. So I relearned 3D sa Blender, like, and then yung pag-i-integrate ng model to the metaverse kasi parang you need to specifically do something para i-accept siya nung metaverse.
So I just wanted to thank Kyle also pala. So to everyone here, I just found out something very interesting while there at the room with other speakers. Kyle is apparently is going to do a 3D model of where we are right now, and he's gonna project it and build it in Decentraland. Tama ba, Kyle, yung plano?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you. Thanks so much, Kyle. So if you wanted to just drop by Decentraland, kailan magiging available yon?
Siguro ito sa loob, so we can have a streaming party there.
Nice.
I'll
Okay.
may mga wearables din ako na I can give away sa mga pupunta.
Oh, free NFTs.
Yes,
Nako.
exactly. Yeah.
Say no more. No more. Free airdrop. Thank you again, Kyle. I just wanted to go to Jake again for this time naman. For anyone who are not aware, Jake played a major part in our childhood. For some, very may malicious power siya nung bata tayo. And that was, he played a part in developing or in Level Up, tama, no? Level Up games, which was responsible for Ragnarok. No? Ang dami kong sinayang na oras dyan sa Ragnarok. My wife right now, I would like to say we met in Ragnarok, pero no, we didn't. Pero that would have been a good story. But then, mahilig din siya sa Ragnarok that time. So, I just wanted to say, sir, thank you for destroying our childhood. But magandang tikim yun for the metaverse, right? Any thoughts on your experience with Ragnarok? Is it anyhow related to the metaverse as it is right now?
Yeah, actually, meron mga parallel, no? Because before, alam naman natin when gaming was confined to console games, and it's usually you play with yourself or you play with somebody na katabi mo, right? And then when MMOs or massively multiplayer online games came about like Ragnarok, suddenly, hindi lang yung kaibigan mo sa neighborhood mo, pero a guy from posh village of Ayala, Alabang is able to interact with somebody from Tondo or somebody from Mindanao, right? So it bridges people and made people closer together, right? And that's the same thing that I can see with Web3 now, pero on a more vast scale na hindi lang kayo nakikita sa isang game, right? But if you have seen the movie Ready Player One, I'm sure it's a good example because yung interoperability ng isang weapon or isang armor or isang kotse sa isang game, pwede mo na ngayong ilipat sa ibang game, right? And that essentially is one component of Web3, and you know it as NFTs right now. Before sa Ragnarok, yung mga nagbebenta ng gamit or nagbebenta ng in-game items. So, matagal nang nag-i-exist yung play and earn. Kaya lang yung play and earn dati, ang tawag doon RMT, real money trading. And before, yung game developers and game publishers like kami sa Level Up, pinagbabawal yon because you are not authorized that item, yung in-game currency, hindi sa'yo yon kahit nasa character mo yon. Dahil pag tinignan mo yung end user, yung EULA, end user license agreement, you are only lent. You are only borrowing the game, even the items that you own, even character na ikaw yung nag-create. Pag nawala yung game, wala na siya. Right now, ang maganda ngayon with Web3, you actually, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier, you actually earn a piece of the internet. When you own an Axie, it's going to be yours forever. Kahit mawala pa yung game, the Axie will be in the blockchain. It's immutable, it's there, unless ibenta mo na siya sa iba. So the concept of you actually owning something within the blockchain is right now the promise of kung ano yung gusto naming gawin dati na hindi namin magawa as game publishers dahil pinagbabawalan kami ng game developer. Ngayon yung game developer themselves putting the game out in the blockchain and components of it through NFTs, ginawa niya ng standard. Hindi na siya bawal. In fact, it's already the rule na you buy it, you own it, it's yours. And then you can monetize it. You can rent it out, you can play, and then kung ano yung ma-earn mo na token, sa'yo talaga yun. Pwede mong benta, pwede mong gawing perang totoo. Right? And at the same time, yung Axie mo, pwede mo din siyang i-trade sa ibang market places. Right? So, yeah.
Napakaganda what you said. This is a good segue to Nico as well. Nico, the thoughts that Jake just had, no, he emphasized ownership, interoperability because it follows some certain standard, be it ERC 1155, ERC 721s. What are your thoughts, Nico? Like, I know Arc of Dreams kasi is in some sort of the similar space in Axie, no, with Axie. I want to know more about what are your plans and also medyo konting devil's advocate lang tayo because Jake, you told us na yun nga there's an ownership component. But then kahit anong mangyari in the future sa'yo pa rin yung Axie mo. But then at the same time, what will you do if that game developer doesn't take care of the game itself, the game mechanics, tokenomics, and eventually sa'yo nga, but then it's valued at zero, diba? Okay, so I'm trying to be devil's advocate lang here and asking the hard questions. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I noticed always the hard questions eh.
Sa'yo, sa kanya. Eksakto sa kanya yung hard
There's
questions.
I don't know why, but you seem closer with him, but the hard questions are with me. So one thing that we're trying to differentiate with a lot of play-to-earn games or NFT products here is that the real-world utility or the real-world benefit that we offer to our holders. So, for example, imagine a certain franchising company, I don't want to name which brand it is. We're creating or we're developing infrastructure for them that's going to be open for in our marketplace, NFT marketplace, right?
Jollibee?
Secret. You're not gonna make me say. So, imagine this. We don't what the direction of Art of Dreams is. We don't want our players to just heavily rely on the value of their tokens or on the value of their NFTs, but we also want them to rely on what's in it for them in the real world. So imagine, going back to what I said earlier, imagine owning a certain NFT that's related to this brand, and in return, what you get is co-ownership right to a certain branch that's going to generate you passive income from every net profit on a monthly basis that this certain branch earns. That's one. Hello? Okay, so that's that's one thing that we're introducing, and not just that, we're also introducing different assets, not just in businesses, but actual items that grows in value over time. So you can imagine, like, from certain gold, jewelries, properties that we're trying to slowly integrate into the game, slowly talk to certain brands to help us make those those ideas happen, so that a lot of people, no matter how much they enjoy the game, or no matter, let's say, okay, we effed up. Hopefully not. Okay, we messed up, or someone from the team messed up, affected the whole project, right? We don't want everyone's livelihood to just depend on us, or on their NFT. We want them to also have, we also want them to have another source of income or a source of ownership in the real world. That it's something that they can also pass on within the family for generations to come. If they want to sell it, okay. If they want to keep it, pass it on to their members or to whoever they want to leave for as a form of legacy building, right? Then they have that ownership that they can provide. And for us, we just really want to be that platform for everyone.
Yeah. So maybe later we can speak after the talk about that
As
franchise.
long as it's not a hard question, no problem.
Thank you. Sobrang interesting yun. So, one answer to the speculation problem is to attach real-world value. So, somehow, hindi na lang siya metaverse, but it's also metaverse with the real life or something like that. But at least, nagkakaroon ng anchor yung valuation. I love that. I wish I thought of that idea myself.
Well, you know, it's never too late to talk.
Kyle, there's one thing that I wanted to ask you. Sobrang curious na ako. What are your thoughts on... So everyone here knows about Meta, right? So si Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, and then he has this conception of his own idea of the metaverse. It could be different from our idea. And it's like, it's basically medyo similar lang eh, diba? Like it's him going into work in the metaverse. Natatawa ako just thinking about it. You know, it's a 3D avatar of himself, diba? What are your opinions on Facebook's idea of the metaverse? Do you like it? Do you hate it? And how does it relate to your own experience in Decentraland?
Facebook, tingin ko kaya sila sobrang baba ng stocks nila ngayon. Like, kasi nahuli siya eh. And now, in my own opinion lang nahuli siya. He saw Metaverse, then gusto niyang maging first mover, like Decentraland, Sandbox. Like, gusto niyang humabol. So, and it was very obvious, lalo na sa mga tao na matagal na sa space. So, naalala ko nga nung nag-dip talaga yung Facebook, that's the time na pumutok naman yung ibang metaverse.
Yeah. So, so tingin mo nahuli si Zuckerberg. But then yung idea niya of a metaverse, what do you think about that?
Yung idea niya para sa metaverse is, I think, centralization.
Okay.
So, for me, ang totoong metaverse is decentralized. People should have a voice. The community should take part sa mga desisyon na pwedeng mangyari sa metaverse. So ngayon, si Zuckerberg, well, kapag nangyari na yung meta, he will just take control of that metaverse.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you totally. By the way, anyone, if you have questions, just please raise your hand. We can just entertain it as we go, no? Jake, sobrang curious din ako. I've heard of Metaverse Go countless of times. Like, can you provide the crowd here, like, just maybe a blurb, maybe a few sentences? What is Metaverse all about? Metaverse Go all about?
So, nakita namin kasi yung difficulty of the current scenario where para ka makapag-play and earn sa isang game like Axie Infinity, tinrack namin ilang steps yung kailangan mo gawin. 16 steps. 16 steps just to be able to earn your first SLP in Axie. So sabi namin, if you want to onboard the next billion of individuals into the metaverse, hindi pwedeng you have to ask them, gawa ka ng MetaMask wallet mo, mag-open ka ng OpenSea account mo, figure out a way to transfer fiat and convert it into crypto, and etc. So what we did was to make those 16 steps into 4 steps lang. All you actually have to do is register in Metaverse Go with your mobile number, and then we will be able to allow you to apply for scholarship within the app. We will be able to allocate, once your application gets approved, allocate gaming assets and let you already play the game. And how we did that is um, the ease of onboarding is done by creating a Web 2 layer on top of all the Web 3 processes. Para si Juan de la Cruz, hindi siya matakot na pumasok into the metaverse kasi lahat ng ini-interface niya is something that he is something na na-experience niya on a day-to-day basis. Because it's like downloading anything in Play Store or the App Store and registering for an account.
So anyone de la Cruz can come in, Web2 experience, username, password, walang seed phrase. Once you get into your system, you're saying that they can become a scholar. But who will lend them the asset? Kung ganun?
So we have two strategic partners here. One is telco. So once you create your account, you need the mobile number. That's one. And on top of the partner, the SIM enabling you to create an account, meron ka pang 1 GB free data wallet that's assigned to you so that that you can use para sa pag-access mo ng Metaverse Go and all the games within it. Tapos, we partner with guilds who possess the game assets. So, minamatch lang namin yung gustong maging scholar pero gusto maglaro pero wala silang pambili ng NFT. Tsaka yung meron akong NFT na hindi ko ginagamit, dormant siya.
Okay. Nico, your turn naman. Hot seat. The most difficult question. Joke lang. Ano lang, madali lang to.
Let's see. I'll be the judge of that.
Very easy. What is Arc of Dreams? If you could just shortly summarize. I know you guys are doing something in the Play to Earn space, X to Earn space. Maybe you can tell a bit more about that.
You know what? This is the most difficult question ever. So, to share to everyone what Arc of Dreams is all about, we're gaming platform that connects the virtual reality to the real world. So we do that by connecting or helping connect the Web 2 brands and integrate them into the Web 3 by providing or allowing our holders to have what I mentioned earlier, real world benefits to all of our NFT holders. So in a nutshell, that's what Arc of Dreams is.
So, okay, connecting Web 2 and Web 3, allowing real world benefits. What does it look like? Is this a virtual world? Is this a website?
It's actually for everyone. It's something that I'm very happy to announce. So we're about to launch our game. It's going to be available on web browser and Android, soon in iOS. So we're launching our game by December of 2022. I hope everyone watches out
For airdrop.
Everyone
here in the room gets free NFTs, ganon?
stay tuned for our game. It's for everyone's information. It's going to be a free-to-play, at least for the community. But if you really want to have a better gaming experience, then you really have to purchase certain NFTs. Although we are giving away OG and whitelist spots, for those who are interested to purchase, since we're launching our pre-mint for our NFT soon.
Patikim naman konti. What is the name? What is the game's name? What is it called?
Arc of Dreams.
Arc of Dreams.
That's it.
Okay. Ano yung, what is it? A card game, a MOBA, a shooter?
The way we always like to describe our game, it's like playing Sims and Pokemon Go. So you have an avatar, you have a pet following you, you have certain quests that you have to achieve, right? And anything that you do in the game, especially if you're an NFT holder, will definitely benefit your player, your character inside the game, and at the same time benefit you in the real life. So we're very much excited to make a series of announcements from our partners, brands that we're onboarding, and hopefully for a bigger 2023. But first, let's take to the launch of the game 2022.
Could you tell us your brand partners?
Well, what the biggest brand partner now that everyone knows is Union Bank of the Philippines. So they're the first fintech company that partnered with us and is support, right? So shout out to Union Bank. Thank you for supporting Arc of Dreams, and thank you for believing in us, right? And we're actually excited to launch what we want to introduce, what us and Union Bank want to introduce to the community, something that's going to be very exciting for everyone.
Okay, sorry, I grilled you because I'm super interested. Medyo forced alpha leak to eh. Being the moderator, I'm abusing my powers. Kyle, alpha leak time now. We only have a few minutes. What does the crowd here have to look out for from Gael, the DCL builder? Any upcoming projects? Any services that you want to provide? Any exciting things in the metaverse?
We're building the first Filipino community in Decentraland. So I invite you all na let's join together and ipakita natin yung Filipino presence natin sa metaverse. Kasi I think Filipino people really good at making trends. Kaya natin magpauso. Kaya natin. And then I'm currently building also a game inside. So if there are developers that are interested to collab with me,
What is the game about?
an RPG game. Like you can grind mobs and the drops will be NFTs.
This is all in Decentraland.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. I'll look forward to that. Wala bang whitelist or airdrop?
Sa ngayon wala pa nasa paper pa lang siya sa ngayon.
All right. So, please update us. How can we follow you? Do you have a Twitter or
You can follow me at zbrightlight.
zbrightlight?
Yes.
Okay, on Twitter.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Jake, last one, taya. Metaverse Go, napakaingay nyo lately. And napakaganda ng, I guess, your thesis, right? Putting a Web 2 wrapper onto a Web 3 experience, being a vehicle for mass adoption for Web 3. Give us a tidbit. What's something to look out for from Metaverse Go in the near future?
So in the near future, definitely we are already going to open our own marketplace where our partner games can list their game assets, their NFTs. And if there are any projects, any of you conceptualizing NFT projects, we are open to collaborate. We've already released our first branded NFT in partnership with Globe, which allowed the users to enter the G Music Fest last September 17 for free using their Globe rewards. So that's a use case of what we can do also. We're not just all about games, but
Actually, I caught that. Sobrang mind-blowing yon. NFTs na do you call it goodie ba? Or goodie, these cute characters, and then they acted as free access to the concert, right? So I really love those types of things where you have real-world utility and not just speculation. Super exciting stuff. Marketplace where people can list their game assets, and then anyone can just borrow or rent.
yes.
Super exciting on that end. I think this is a good closer. I think we've gotten to know everyone here in the panel very well. Do we have time for question and answer from the crowd? Okay, so I think this is a good time for Q&A. Feel free, don't be shy. Okay, sir, the gentleman in the front in gray. Yeah, sorry, we'll give you the mic.
Hello. Yeah. So with the news that came out about, 1.2 billion value of a with only 38 users and some are no, it's really 8,000 or whatever. Um, with we know that the metaverse is a logical thing and it's around the corner, right? But with that news that came out, so the hype is has more value than the actual usage now, right? So, what do you guys think of that?
Uh, First of all, the 38 user, that's mad misinformation. Like the it's decentralized, like right? Uh, naglabas naglabas si Coindesk ng article about Decentraland fudding na there are only 38 users, daily users. So kami as a community, nagalit kami. Binash namin yung Actually yes, we stormed Coindesk account. Like, hey, no, no, no. But yeah, kasi for us, it's our home. It's our home base. Like, we 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 built on top of it. Like everything you see inside, it's almost everything. It's player or user made. So yun yung tingin ko yung value nun na everything can decide on their own. Hindi nila kailangan magpasa ng ito yung plano. Kung may plano ka sarili mo, pwede mo yun gawin. Kung meron kang land, you can make events, you can make parties, live DJ sessions, or have a talk like this inside. So the value is masyadong malaki yung value kung nakikita mo yun. And I think nag-engagement farm lang sila kaya nila sinabi yun. Kasi binawi din nila yun eh. Parang sinabi nila, mali kami ng, it's 380. And then, pumunta na naman kami doon, hindi 380 ang siguro more or less mga nasa 10,000 active users ang Decentraland Metaverse.
Investors kasi buy into the future. They don't buy a commodity and its value right now. They see something. So I guess it's not a fault on their end kung ano man yung nakikita nila doon. And what creators, I guess, need to be wary about is to make sure that you live up to the promise of what you originally intended to create.
Honestly, for me, if we're going to talk about, you mentioned earlier about the value, like 1.2 valuation of the metaverse. And if I were to also emphasize on that, I think right now and the development progress of the metaverse, it's just a starting point. Everything that's happening now it's just going to be like a trampoline for every other projects out there that's going to happen. And whatever development progress that happens, everyone knows that the metaverse is a race, yes. But it's more of the concept of being a sustainable project or being a sustainable platform. So yes, people are competing to be the first one to really develop what an actual metaverse is or would look like. But at the same time, it's really more of ensuring that you are delivering to your promise, to your community, to your holders, and to your stakeholders as well.
Yeah, good question. I just have a few things to add lang. A good mental model siguro, at least for me, infrastructure app stages. No? So technology goes through the infra stage, building the pipes, building the roads, and then yung app is siguro yung mga bahay on top, actual use cases. And siguro nandito na tayo sa stage na, 'di ba, infrastructure building na lang, no? Because with the app stage was actually it provided us with a glimpse of what could be possible, but then kumbaga yung kalsada maraming sira pa and we need to repair and also build the skyway and also the NLEX and SLEX, no? So eventually darating din naman yung traffic because metaverse, if you look at it from first principles perspective, may use talaga siya, may benefits talaga sa mga tao. So yun, maganda rin point ni Jay, future value, no? So and again, it's all based on your own expectation. Humans being humans, there's no science to it. It's more fun art. So laging fluctuating, gyrating yung valuations. Sad to say, currently the emperor has no clothes right now. Kasi, diba? I mean, like 10,000 is minuscule. But then, we are all dreamers, and diba, my favorite line is always, the progress always depends on the person who is unreasonable. And we are, I mean, everyone here, we're all unreasonable people. If naging logical ka, then you would have given up many, many years ago, diba? And we're all here to build, a better future. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, sir.
Related dun sa valuation. So, you're saying there's 10,000 in Decentraland. I think the value there is, like you said, you do Blender, no? So imagine if I wanna go to a place where there are 10,000 Blender developers, I think that's the value. Like if you don't see that, then parang weird, di ba? There's 10,000 Blender, whatever. So yun ang value. Like imagine if I wanted to go to one place. So I think the scaling point. So I'm asking like how many of you on the what Jake was saying on the valuation, like who among you are actually raising money right now? Because it's very peculiar, no? Maybe people don't realize you're in Draper's startup house, no? So Team Draper put $3 million actually in this building, and one of the founders is there, Christian Munoz. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Yeah, yeah. So he's just smiling because he's a new dad. So hello, daddy. So here's the thing. You have to be pitching to this guy because he has a network of investors, no? The Draper. So I wanna, since you're here, the opportunity, are you guys raising money? How much are you raising para this is recorded, people around the world? So that's the opportunity. Imagine, there's 10,000 Filipinos developers in the centers. This is a wonderful opportunity. Christian Munoz is here. He's setting up Draper Startup House around the world, but the biggest flagship is here in the Philippines. So you want to put a flag in the Centerland, but let's put also a flag here. Diba? Parang tell the world the amazing stuff that's happening here. But at the same time, how much money are you raising, no? Para what stage para the investors can hear it, right? And maybe they'll start flying here and start investing. That's what happened here in March, no? When we opened February 2022, March. Sinigang Valley had an event here, and investor flew in, and everyone's asking where are the projects we wanna invest in. So you're on stage, you represent massive community, 10,000 developers. How much are you raising? What stage? Make your pitch to the investors online and to Christian Munoz, okay?
Thank you for the opportunity. But right now, we're not raising any funds. So for me, I do it when I have time. And but yeah, I want to expand my team and hire promising new talents. But yeah, for right now, I'm not yet raising any funds. Yeah.
Yeah, so fortunately for us, before, even during the bear market, we were able to finish our seed round with a $40 million valuation. So we got $4.2 million closed in June. Right now, we're in the process of mobilizing ourselves pinapalaki muna namin yung talaga yung value and showing our initial investors that we really mean business. So far, we've gotten 31,000 MAU to date without really having actively marketed ourselves. So I guess that speaks a lot of how serious we are. Hindi kami here just to inflate our valuation, but we want to really show proof of the pudding, right? Na we're able to generate X number of users earning X number of X amount of real money before we knock on the doors for our next private round. But we are targeting that for sometime Q2. Hopefully, we're done with the bear market by then, because it's all about timing as well.
Well, Paul, hi. You know, you also like to ask hard questions. But fortunately for us, we're backed by our own venture capital firm. So right now, we're not actually in the process of raising funds or looking for investors. Everything is being funded by our firm. And as much as possible, we just really want to make sure that the platform is working. We have the concept like what you mentioned earlier. We want to make sure that the application or the whole business model of Arc of Dreams is actually working before we open for any fundraising initiatives that we could ever do.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately time's up. So naligtas din ako, Paul. I don't have to answer that question. I don't answer that question. Just to wrap things up, put things, tie things into a nice bow. I just like to invite the man himself, si Christian, the man of Draper House. Please come up on stage, sir. We're gonna pitch to you live. Maybe some parting words, some inspirational tidbits and all.
I mean, you guys did all. I don't have to say anything else, but well, I think online what you guys were saying, I think we're not only money, right? We also like startup houses, right? So it's all about that community as well. So something that we want to do is like when you set up here in the Philippines and you're expanding overseas, like you can come stay with us in Lisbon, in many countries. So that's something that we're creating. So even if you guys are not raising money, I mean, you can come and stay with us and like come to a lot of these kind of events. So that's something that we want to create. We're doing entrepreneurial tourism. So even for like the metaverse and all these things that we're talking about, like that's something that we will create. And I'm excited to hear and see like what's the space is gonna look like. So for us, like we are very inspired about the Philippines. A lot of investors are coming. We're looking. So we need to find like more innovation coming from the Philippines. So that's something that we're looking, as Paul mentioned. And come stage like pitch. We do a lot of events. This is a safe space for you guys to always come and engage. And there's always investors, always people looking. There's co-founders, there's community members. So there's a lot of growth. There's more than time's up. There's more than just like money, right? So I think for you guys, like you shouldn't see it as if you're raising funds or not raising funds. It's also about like mentors. It's also about scaling outside the Philippines. So that's something that I see when we talk to a lot of Filipino founders. Like they typically tend to just look very localized, and we wanna bring them abroad and like through these hostels that are kind of like it's easy. People like just have a beer, like it's very welcoming, it's very safe. So we wanna create that kind of like vibe when we go around hostels and we all kind of like talk about these different things while we're exploring. So yeah, not just capital, not just money, but there's community members, there's mentors, there's a lot more than that. So if you guys want to scale, money is always not the vehicle. So come to these spaces. I mean, I'm talking about Drip Star House because I guess I got up here to talk about it. But there's investors like the ones that are flying in. You guys have to be also strategic. Like I actually like the answer that you guys are not really fully raising. So founders also need to be more selective about like who they're partnering with, and like kind of ask back the VCs like, hey, why are you the right partner? Why is you like I'm taking money from you? So that's something that you guys also have to think about. Is the VC, is like a Team Draper is gonna help you scale, or like what can add other value they offer than money, because money is just a commodity. And we have a panel tomorrow about venture forward, so we'll talk about more of that. And we have some VCs from the Philippines, and I don't know if from abroad also, but maybe Winston will bring a little bit of like his knowledge, and then we'll talk about Draper Startup House and our fund and like our syndicate, over 500 investors. But yeah, think about it also the community, especially for Kyle. You guys have an amazing community. Seems like not only just that money, but like even if you want to go and like meet up people in Argentina, if you want to go meet people in Mexico, and expand what you guys are doing in the Philippines, this is kind of like things that we can do through Draper Startup House and many other ways that we can support you and your community and everybody here as well. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you,
All
Christian.
right. Thank you very, very much for that very engaging session. Thank you all for taking the time to join us in this evening session. Enter the Metaverse. Are we ready for the virtual reality? Next up, Mint and Greet NFT Project Showcase. For the most awaited part, for the most awaited Okay, picture daw po muna tayo. Another one with Miss Bianca. Thank you so much again. A round of applause for our panel.